Now, Phoenix police were able to get to the bank within just a few minutes of the robbery starting, and that's thanks to a man who was grabbing a bite to eat across the street. Those Fido bags, 3TV, we just did a story last week on those bags, how they saved their home. You see right here is unsafe for them to live in. Businesses and other construction going on, and of course plenty of homes and apartments popping up everywhere. That's why the first phase of the urban rail will start here. Now the blaze is contained, but due to the strong winds, fire crews are letting the fire burn itself out throughout the night.
Casey, what can you tell us now?
Well, as y'all can see, it's still a very active scene with dozens of fire trucks surrounding the apartment complex. Now, when we showed up, the flames were still shooting from the top of the roof. They will be able to use their phone to tweet and text during the debate. But the twist of this story is where the chase took place. About an hour ago, we saw several police units escorting the ambulance with the suspect inside with life-threatening injuries to the hospital. Now, you can take a live look.
And with Casey James at the scene of that shooting. Casey?
Again, Fields, one officer and one bystander have been shot, both in critical condition at this hour. Let's take a live look of the intersection where all this ended. Next weekend as well, you want to check them out.
Leslie.
And Leslie, Robert, it looks like y'all have a personal invitation if y'all want to come out. In North Austin, Casey James, KXAN News. 2014 is about to kick off. Let's go inside. More than 30,000 people are expected to show up to bring in 2014. Of course, when you're partying on New Year's, you got to have an appetite. So let's go over here. What are you cooking?
We're doing ribs, St. Louis style ribs.
That's really good.
That's the deal.
That's good. I promised my friends here I'd get them on TV. Okay, y'all ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. City of Entertainment, best known for the infamous strip and hotspots. It's also known to keep a few good secrets, so sit back and strap in because we're about to kick up some sand in the Mojave Desert, hitting the dunes of southern Nevada, where the lights gloom well beyond the boulevard. Then it's time to play like a rock star at probably the most unusual mini golf course you will ever see. But first, let's revisit a childhood favorite at the world's largest pinball collection. You don't realize that Sun Buggy actually builds all their dune buggies from scratch, making them a one-of-a-kind operation.
We don't buy almost anything.
And right now we're heading probably about 15 minutes north of the strip to kick up some sand.
So we're gonna go through the do's and don'ts of the desert. So just grab onto your harness like this, enjoy it, and we'll come get you. All right? But that's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
That's not. There's no rollovers that are gonna happen today. Does it take a little more kahunas to do the after dark racing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like driving with your eyes closed. You know, it's even more intense because you don't know what's coming at all.
Pulling off a great haunted house is no easy task. Just ask Daniel McAuliffe. He first built a haunted cemetery in his yard more than a decade ago, which quickly became a local favorite attraction.
And that was like the funnest experience for me, and that's what really got me hooked into doing it.
McAuliffe loved it so much he decided to make it a career. He is now celebrating 10 years of success with the House of Torment.
It was rocky for the first year or two, but you know, looking back, it was the best decision we made, and we're able to come to work every day and completely love our job.
A job that takes all year, 2 months of planning, and then building props.
It takes literally 8 months to make all the changes.
Not to mention expensive.
This 18-foot Demon Beast behind me, brand new, would retail anywhere from $12,000 to $18,000.
They start training stunt actors mid-summer on scaring tactics.
We're constantly trying to come from every direction possible, whether that's above, below, from either side. We have zip liners who fly overhead.
And we even got an exclusive tour.
Don't tell them we're in here.
By Mr. Monster John Doe himself.
Some people like to whittle wood, some people like to work in the metal shop, others like to scare people. We got a menu in here if you're a little hungry.
It didn't take long for others to join the tour.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. There isn't a guy electrocuted right here, don't worry about that.
And the monsters always love having guests over for extended stays.
Make sure to come by tonight for Halloween.
I never considered myself less fortunate, I guess up until April when I had to rely on so many families and friends and their support.
Terry Moreno's strength is being tested this holiday season as her only son battles acute lymphoblastic leukemia in a hospital room far away from the comforts of home.
We've been watching Christmas movies and, you know, try to make it feel like home. I keep telling myself it's just a little step that we're going to have to endure for now and for things that are going to be better soon.
The initial infusion's done.
Doctors said Mark needs a bone marrow transplant to beat the cancer in his blood. That's what brought him to Houston, but treatment to prepare Mark for his transplant has been incredibly hard on his body.
And Mark just went through a week-long treatment of chemo, is now highly susceptible to infections, so we have to wear gloves and mask and even wipe down our cameras before we can go in and see him.
It'll drain you fast and it'll keep you drained. They're very understanding of, you have your good days, you have your bad days.
Donor is O positive.
Our cameras were allowed inside the core cell lab at MD Anderson, where they prepare the stem cells for cancer patients.
We are basically processing it on this machine to wash out all of the protective additives that they added to it during the freeze process.
Mark will receive stem cells from the blood of an unknown mother's umbilical cord by separating the healthy cells from the blood.
Let's remove this extra fluid from it and get only the cells, which are what's going to be helpful to the patient.
After 45 minutes, it's time to take the healthy cells to Mark's room, where family, doctors, nurses, and a priest are waiting.
We ask you to bless these cells.
This is a time of hope. This is a time for a new chance.
God bless you.
It takes only 30 minutes to transfuse the new cells into Mark's blood, where doctors hope they will take and grow.
I don't know if we'll ever know who the donors were, but we're forever going to be grateful for that.
Is that way?
You want to go that way?
Yeah.
But Terry knows other mothers haven't been as lucky.
You got it?
Their son is only 2 years old, and my heart just goes out to them.
Tigers.
A young couple from Dallas shares the same obstacles.
I see my baby boy, so I can imagine what she's going through, as him being so small.
The two mothers have been each other's support system since they met at the hospital.
It's great to know that we have each other.
I don't wish this on anybody. I don't. But if you do, please have faith.
No, go walk.
You want to go walk?
2-year-old Ethan was diagnosed with leukemia AML on his 2nd birthday.
All done.
After months of chemo, the only solution left is a direct bone marrow transplant from his mom.
Knowing that Ethan can get something, a part of me, brings us together even more.